Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Duels. So today is Sunday, and that means it would be Agents, but this is Angels, Agents Last Stand, doing the deck profile. Then next Sunday we'll be doing Heraldics. So I wanted to just do the deck profile. No, my Agent deck isn't the best, and it's probably not the most competitive version. So hopefully I don't get flamed for that one. But my personal take on just how I wanted to do it. Some decks I play the back row, some decks I don't. It depends on really how I feel. In this deck, I definitely didn't feel like playing any back row. So we're just gonna hop into it. I'm just gonna go through every card and give you guys my opinion. Overall, the deck can be annoying this format. Like, I see it being one of the annoying decks. Uh, you know, Chalk that up with, Boojins, Castellars, Evil Swarms, maybe like Battling Boxers, where they summon their boss monster and they sit on it and they win. Yeah, you know, they summon a Yamato, a Pleiades, Ophion, Lead Blow. You know, they'll play shit like Kaiser Coliseum, Banning Emptiness, lots of back row. This deck's gonna be a control deck. And one of the reasons why I don't like this deck as much and why I kind of frown upon it is because it's another structure deck. Like, Konami just loves to make structure decks so damn good. And it's just like, did I just lose to a damn structure deck with my $200 something deck, that I had to get the cards out of the damn pack, Like, it's fine if the structure deck are good, but it's not, the deck shouldn't be that good where it's just spoon fed to you and just like, yeah, this deck is good. You go to the store, you buy 3 of them, you slap them together, and bam, you got yourself a good ass deck. And this one deck was actually one of them. And I remember, it was back in maybe, I want to say 2011, about summertime 2011. I remember because I actually was taking a break. I wasn't into Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was going to summer school. No, I wasn't bad. I was going to summer school for PE because my lazy ass, I did, instead of doing like PE 1 and PE 2 in high school. No, I just did 4 summer schools of PE and never did PE in real school. I was like, nah, I'd rather take like 3 weeks of it. So while I was there were people there, kids, who were into Yu-Gi-Oh, and they brought their Yu-Gi-Oh cards and they played. And I still had some knowledge of my Yu-Gi-Oh time, so I would help them out. And they were just like, "Hey, Daniel, how come you're not playing?" It's like, because I don't have any cards. At the time, I had no cards. So they're like, some kid had the agent structure deck, and he just gave it to me. He's like, "Here, you can have this. You can use this." And I was playing it with the deck, and I'm like, "This is pretty decent." But, with one Hyperion, and Hyperion, I checked the ban list, Hyperion's at 3, and Earth was at 3, and it's just like, you know what, we're gonna do this. So I went down to my local Walmart, bought 2 more structure decks, slapped them together, went undefeated. Freaking undefeated because I had 3 Hyperions, 3 Earths, 3 Centurion Skies, which of course the agent decks don't play, but I like it, and just kicked their butts. I just smacked the shit out of them, and I was just like, yeah. And they're just like, how'd you get so good? I'm like, I just put 3 structures together, and it's not like this is the first time that's happened. I can understand it if it was the first time that happens, because the agents, they got hit. Earth went down to 1, and then that kind of disappeared because Earth went down to 1. Then over the years, Earth went back to 2, then 3, and pretty much agents got all their cards back. Kirsty was at 2, now it's at 3. So pretty much agents are back at full power. And I'm just kind of scratching my head about why Konami would do that, but especially with Kirsty to 3. But you know what? Like I said, if there's one thing I can ask for Konami, I wish that every time they had a ban list, they would just have a press conference where, get out of here, where someone would just, from Konami, would just get up there with a microphone, read off the ban list, and tell us the reason why everything was moved. So we don't have to sit there and guess, because the January 2014 ban list, pretty much I got the gist of every single card, except for Christia. I don't know why Christia went up to 3. So I'm kind of just scratching my head on that one, but you know what? Whatever. So, it's not the first time that structure decks have just been slapped together and pwned. Think about it. Machinas, I think, were probably the first one that would probably like just slap together and pwn. I mean, there were structure decks that were good before, where if you put 3 together, it was okay, but none of the likes of Machina. I was pwning on that shit in like 2010 with 3 Machine Fortress structure decks. I forgot what the structure deck is called. Uh, let's see. Fire Kings, 6 Samurais, pretty decent. All you had to do was just pick up a Xian. Um, Dark Worlds. It just goes on and on and on, where you pretty much just go to the store, buy 3 structure decks, slap them together, and you got yourself a decent deck. And it's not like Konami's making a lot of money. Like, would I rather make $30 and have the guarantee? Konami prefers that you buy the packs. They make more money off the packs instead of getting the guaranteed cards in a structure deck. They'd rather you buy the packs and risk the chance and risk it to get this deck. So I feel that the decks from the packs should just be naturally stronger than a structure deck. A structure deck is to get you into Yu-Gi-Oh. Sure, you could take 3 structure decks and put them together. It's going to be a decent deck, but it's not going to be as strong as you getting the packs. But sometimes that's not necessarily the case. And agents are definitely ones that can chalk it up. Christia comes common. I believe that the rest of the shit's in the structure deck, so you could probably get this deck for fairly cheap. So I'm gonna stop rambling on about this and just go down deck profile. Okay, so 3 Christia. Christia's at 3. It's annoying. It's more annoying that not only can I revive it with its effect, but this card wouldn't be as bad if it couldn't be special summoned besides. If it couldn't be special summoned besides its effect, I probably wouldn't give a shit. But it can. So I can go Valhalla summon Christia. I have a Christia on the field. You kill it, and I can just go, okay, Call of the Haunted Christia. It's just like, why did they do it like this? Like, this is supposed to be, supposedly, the Dark Armed Dragon for lights. 8 fairies, right? Dark Armed Dragon can't be special summoned outside of its effect, so why can Christia? I seriously thought that Christia was on the other side of the fence, and maybe should have went down to 1, along with a little tweaking with Vanity's Emptiness hit, maybe, just to, stop it with a non-interaction in Yu-Gi-Oh! But Konami doesn't even care, So Christia's at 3. You've seen it. There's actually an episode of Daily Duels where I do 3 duels, and first turn Christia every duel. Just Christia, Christia, Christia. So this deck can Christia you. It can drop a Kaiser on you. It can, I play Royal Decree, so if I drop a Christia and flip up that Royal Decree, unless you get that Book of Moon, that might be game. It's a 28 beater. You can't special summon. No one can special summon. So at that point, it's pretty much like Vanity's Emptiness on legs. And you know how we weigh cards on legs. It's not the first time that a card has had legs. I need to go into Do Not Disturb on Skype. Card has had legs, and it hasn't been a problem. Alright? Take, for example, Thunder King versus Mistake. One has legs. You put legs on a card, and then all of a sudden, it's a spectacle, I can have a Vanity's Emptiness all day. If I don't get a strong monster to beat you up, I'm gonna lose. Christy, on the other hand, yeah, I'm a Vanity's Emptiness, and I'm 28. 20 freaking 8 over the attack barrier. You got a problem? You better get some back row to stop me. And if you don't, and I got that Royal Decree, you don't got that Book of Moon, you lose. Is that really how we want Yu-Gi-Oh to be played? But you know what? It's really, at this point, it's really whatever. So, you know what? Christy's at 3, so agent players, eat your heart out. And so we got 3 Hyperion. You know how Hyperion is. 27 beater over the attack barrier. You can special summon it by just removing from play an agent in your hand, field, or graveyard. Plop them on the field. And, once per turn you can banish a light fairy type to pop a card. And if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, pop 2 cards. So, that's one of the reasons why I was a fan of Sanctuary in the Sky along with Earth. Because you can just go, okay, summon Earth, Earth effect, give me Hyperion, banish the Earth, summon Hyperion. Oh, I got some phase in the graveyard, pop, 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 pop. And you're pretty much plus 1 because all you're doing is banishing from your graveyard. If it was like discard a fairy to pop a card, that would be even. You would lose a resource to your opponent, but it's not. Graveyard doesn't count as resources. It's what you have on the field and what you have in your hand as what you have for your resources. So you banish 1 to pop 1, so you plus 1. You had that Sanctuary in the Sky, you have 2, pop 2, +2 on your opponent. So, you know, Hyperion definitely a really great boss monster. It's level 8, so you can easily go into a Felgran. But some cards it's just not worth it. You could take 2 Hyperions and make a Felgran. You could take a Christian Hyperion and make a Felgran, but really, why? It's not like it's JD where you're risking milling your deck. Some DOS monsters, it's just not worth it. It's like having 2 High Priestesses on the field. It's kind of like, do I really want to turn this into a big guy? No, not really. So, yeah, Hyperion, really good. You have one Theus. Theus, pretty decent. You really only need one. I don't tribute for her most of the time. What's really good about her is you can keep on doing her effect. So, when you draw a fairy type, you reveal it. If it's a fairy, you draw another card, reveal it, fairy, draw. So, there's been plenty of those I'm just like, draw a fairy, 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 draw a fairy. And you can see the monster count in this deck is pretty high. So, the chances of me drawing a fairy are pretty high. You can just activate Valhalla, summon this lady, then next turn you just draw. Reveal, draw, reveal, draw, reveal, draw, reveal, draw, reveal, draw, reveal. So, pretty decent card. It's pretty weak when it comes to attack, though. 24, it can get ran over, so you gotta be careful. But when you do get its effect off, it's pretty decent. Next, we got 2 Jupiter. Jupiter is okay. He's not really worth running at 3. His effect is kinda, you can remove from play an agent monster from your graveyard to select a face-up fairy and increase its attack by 800 trillion face. So you can pretty much turn this guy into 26 beater over the attack barrier. What I really like is his second effect. So when you have Secretary on the Sky on the field, you can discard 1 fairy monster, select 1 remove and play fairy monster, and special summon it. So of course with Hyperion banishing a lot to pop, it'd be really easy to just go Jupiter effect, pitch a fairy, summon a fairy. So you could have like Christie on your graveyard, summon Hyperion, banish, pop, summon Jupiter, pitch, get back Christia, bam, because Christia can be special summoned. So that's really, its second effect is a good one. The first one's okay. The problem is that you gotta remove and play an agent. So him and Hyperion are always kind of butting heads on who is doing what with the agents. But his second effect is pretty decent, especially since Hyperion was banishing a lot. This is one of the decks that was running Return from a Different Dimension, just because Hyperion would just banish so much. So yeah, but now that card's banned, we don't have to worry about that card anymore. See, so it wasn't just E-Dragons, it was also Dark Worlds. There was a few decks that were just using Return, so it's not like, oh, if you kill dragons, you can keep Return. No, Return was a problem card that had to go. It's pretty much in the same boat as Future Fusion, where it pretty much put a chokehold on Konami on what they can make. Konami would probably be like, you know what? Let's make a nice cool banish deck. Oh, no, wait, we can't, because Return would just break the hell out of that deck. So, it was just a card that, they could have just kept on pushing back, and forgetting about it, and pushing back. But they decided to hit it now, and I'm proud of Konami for doing that, Same thing with Super Rejuve, same thing with just self-destruct button, with final counter, and you just address the problem now before it leaves people's mind, because we really didn't think of anything about Return, but, through E-Dragons, it brought back to our light, and we realized, yes, this card is broke, and it needs to go. So, thank you, E-Dragons, for breaking the hell out of that card and making Konami realize that, yes, this card is broken, because the card was broken, you ban Ultimate Offering, but you leave Return. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, are you sure you want to do that, Konami? But now Konami has wisened up. Konami? Rekindling? Alright, I'm gonna move on. We have 3 Zardus. He is pretty much your commandant. You're pretty much your terraforming. He's a 21 beater. Of course, he can't have... He's like, what's that elemental hero guy? A captain guy, the one that's 21 and he's destroyed if you don't have a skyscraper on the field. Yeah, it's pretty much him. So you pitch him to either get a Valhalla, not a Valhalla, a Sanctuary in the Sky, or he's a 21 beater if you have Sanctuary in the Sky on the field. Pretty much, he's very few. That's pretty much he is. I pitch him to the graveyard, get a Valhalla, a Sanctuary in the Sky, summon Earth, search Hyperion, banish, summon, pitch the Zardus in the graveyard, pop a card, He's pretty much Fairy Father, and he's a 21 beater, so he's not that bad. So, I like to run 3 for consistency means. Then we run 3 Hickatrice. He gets me a Valhalla. Valhalla can special summon the fairies on the field. If it's pretty much like a call them only for fairies, so I can just go act Hickatrice, get Valhalla, activate Valhalla, summon Hyperion, or summon Theus, or summon Christia. So it's just that easy. So, uh, and once again, he's also fairy fuel. So, just more bullets in Hyperion's gun because you pitch him to the graveyard. He's in the graveyard, so Hyperion can banish the pop. So, yep. Honest, of course. God, it's a light deck. I don't even have to say it's a fairy deck. It's a light deck. Honest is in here. 3 Earth. Earth was at 1, then it went to 2, now it's at 3. So, when it's normal summoned, you can add an agent monster from your deck to your hand. Don't like to do that. Don't like to do that often. Of course, you can't add Earth. So, generally, you add Venus, and that's generally what agent players do because they don't play the freaking Sanctuary in the Sky, and I really think that's a really nonchalant play. It's like, I summoned Earth, search for Venus. I summoned Venus, pay to summon some damn shine balls, and what am I gonna make? Gotchi? Ooh, now I'm 2,000 attack, Venus. Ooh, no. I'm like, really? It's really not a spectacular play. Of course, Venus is in here because sometimes I don't get Sanctuary in the Sky, so I gotta search for something. I'd rather search for Venus than search for Jupiter. But, I don't like that play. I'd rather toss the Sanctuary in the Sky and be able to search for a frickin' Hyperion. I'd rather toss the Sanctuary in the Sky, activate it, search for a frickin' Hyperion, the boss monster in the damn deck. Like, you're frowning upon frickin', Witch of the Black Forest. No. This bitch can summon the boss monster of the deck. And it's a frickin' agent. So, as soon as you get him, you can just go, okay, banish the Earth that I just summoned to get this guy, Hyperion. So dumb. But, if agent players that play, you play that Sanctuary in the Sky, that's not even worth it. You're not competitive. Whatever, I think that your plays are really unspectacular. This whole Earth to Venus, Venus to shine balls, and you think that play is good? It's not. So, whatever. I like it. I like it with the Sanctuary in the Sky. Then we got Venus. Venus sucks, but she doesn't do much. But, like I said, it's better to search for Venus than to search for Jupiter, because Jupiter doesn't do much, while Venus can at least do something. Also, she's an agent, so Hyperion fuel, and her shine balls are also fairy fuel. That's as best as I can really explain it. I can make the best I can do, make a Dark Mist. The worst I can do, make a Gotchi. Now I have 2,000. Ooh. No, not really spectacular. I was just trying to run a lot of monsters, so this deck needs some monsters. So, yeah, there you go. The deck, and the card has a little bit of synergy, not much. She doesn't even have a Sanctuary in the Sky effect. Most of the agents have a Sanctuary in the Sky effect. She does not. So, yeah. And you got your Shine Balls. You run 3, because you can summon from the hand or deck, doesn't matter. So sometimes Dark Mist saves your ass, so you might as well just run 3. It's not worth running 2. Of course, if you summon them out of your hand, that's a dead draw. But you know what? Dark Mist can save your butt, and Gotchi is okay. There we go. Those are the monsters. Let's go into spells. Dark Hole. Not really. I don't really have to explain it. Dark Hole. 3 Sanctuary in the Sky. Sanctuary in the Sky allows me to do a lot of plays. I already went into it. And, of course, I don't take any damage from battles involving fairies, so if you want to do that stolly shit and go with, like, that Gliendo or whatever its name is, and have a 17 beater, it's only keep it short battle, it's only just only take damage, and, of course, with Sanctuary Sky, you don't take any battle damage, so he pretty much just sits there, and also, he's a 2 tribute, so you could do that play. I was testing that out at the beginning, and I decided, the deck was Transmod Fairies at the beginning, changed it to Agents, because Transmodified really wasn't working. It was being a dead draw, and sometimes, I couldn't really change some of my fairies into higher fairies, so it was being a dead draw, really wasn't working. So yeah, I took it out. Then you got 3 Valhalla. Valhalla is going to be very annoying with frickin' Christia. It's just going to be like, Valhalla, summon Christia, Valhalla, summon Christia, Valhalla, summon Christia. And it's just like, wow, thanks. 28 beater, and I can't special summon. Wow. Well, that's probably game, So unless you got some juicy back row, a Dark Hole in your hand, or, something, you might be in trouble. Then we run the back row hate because this deck hates back row, and I win. I don't need back row in this deck. Like, I win without back row. This deck is heavily monster effect heavy, so it doesn't need the back row to back it up. So I'd rather, block my Christia with Lancer, MST your back row and go off, or roll to decree you and then start popping your shit with Christia or locking you. But popping your shit with Hyperion, locking you down with Christia. That's just me, So you guys, some people are probably looking at this deck and probably being like, this isn't the competitive agents. I don't care. I prefer it where I, block your back row and go off with my monster effects. So that's just what I prefer. So we're gonna go into extra deck. Star Eater because you can make it. Crimson Blader because you can make it. Scrap because you can make it. Engine Second Robin because you can make it and he's good. Black Rose because you can make it and it's decent. I don't even know why he's in there, but why not? I think this is still the freaking still the extra deck from when I got the Transmodifiers from Vexicus 4666, but there's really no point to change it because everybody was in here. So yeah, he's okay. I'd say he's probably one of the best. He's probably one of the top 3 6 synchros right now, with Bronic and Goyo being banned and should stay banned in my opinion. You got because people were complaining because you didn't have any good 6s. Well, now you have HTC, right? Is it HTS or HTC? I think it's HT something. HT. What is it? HT what? What is it? Wow, you're not even going to allow me to search for them? Is it HTC? HTS? You're not going to allow me to search. Okay, thank you. Okay. There's one of those two. The 2040 meter is like a DD Warrior Lady. He's good. Vulcan's good. And Sirius is good. Vulcan's kind of situational, but Sirius, when he's destroyed, you select one of your opponent's face-up monsters and loses 2,400 attacks. It's pretty decent. Vulcan, you can bounce one. You can bounce one of your face-up cards or one of your opponent's face-up cards. So if you have like a Call to Hunt that's still face-up or something, just bounce it back and put it back in your hand and reset it and bounce one of your opponent's cards. So pretty decent. And HTC/S, I can't remember. One of them is the card, and one of them is a phone company. So I'm getting them mixed up. So yeah. Yeah. And HTC is pretty much a DD Warrior. So yeah. So you have some decent 6s, so we can step away from Bronic and Goya Guardian, because now you have some decent ones. Marty's, because you can make it. Catastrophe, because you can make it, and he saves butts, because he can, if it's non-dark, he's destroying it, so pretty good. Unless it's the Marty's, because Marty's can kill Catastrophe. It's just funny. Mega, because you can make it and it blocks back row, because I hate back row. Paladamino, because you can make it, and, if you're a light deck and you have 4s, put in Paladamino. He will save you, and he'll be putting in work. He's just all around, has a good ass effect, There's nothing bad about Paladamino's effect, so if you can run him, run him. Maestro, he's the go-to, let's see, I don't know, he's just in here. Cowboy wins games, if you got 4s, you just go bang bang, you gotta run that Cowboy. If you got 4s, run Cowboy, that's just my rule. He should be in there, You know how if you had 4s, you'd run Utopia? No, Cowboy. He'll win you a game. Some people are like, oh, don't use Cowboy. Keep him in there. There'll be a time where, you'll have game, and it'll be close to game, and you'll be looking at your extra deck during your main phase 2 and be like, oh, I don't have Cowboy. And just like, you're an idiot. You're just gonna just win. Cowboy, bang, bang, won the game. Play the Cowboy Bebop theme. But some people don't. I think it was one YouTuber I saw, and they didn't run Cowboy in their Madolches, and I wanted to smack them. I don't like disliking videos, and I had to really hold my hand to stop myself from disliking his video, because I'm just like, it should be in there. That Cowboy should be in the deck that makes 4s. Any deck that makes 4s. I don't care what deck you are. I don't even care if you're freaking Utopia. Put Cowboy in there. He will win you games. And then you got the Shine Buckhard, Scotchy, and Dark Mist. So, yeah. So this is the agent deck profile. This deck is being taken off of Daily Duels, so no more on Sunday. So next Sunday, we will be going into Heraldic. So, I know you guys will be missing it, maybe a little bit. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all support. And I will see you guys tomorrow, tagging with Tiago Madolches.